Hello, friends. How the heck are you? It's us again.
And Cody's here.
And Cody.
Yeah. Look at that. Steven, Johnny on the spot is the first. He was there when that countdown started.
Yes.
Good evening to you, sir. Appreciate you, man. There's Audrey. How you doing, Audrey? Audrey gets confused because we put our recorded shows up, and she was commenting like crazy when our show, this last show went up, and she was like, where is everybody? I was like, this isn't live, Audrey. But here's what's cool, and it's interesting that you did that because we have an option where we can premiere one of our regular shows where we're all on there together. We can watch together, and we won't be on camera. I mean, the show will be on camera, but we could be chatting back and forth in the chat. You could ask questions about the show or talk about how bad it is, and we could comment live how much you're hurting our feelings, stuff like that.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Nice.
See, this is a mistake. I downloaded an update on this thing, and now it's giving me all this information on the thing. Hey, you can do this.
It's like pop-up video.
Yeah, I know how it works. Stop.
I do not, but I would not read it anyway.
Hello, Noelle, Marianne. Good to see you. Glad you guys are here. We have to see if everybody's still cool with this time on Friday evenings. It works really well for us, but if everybody's got a different schedule now, you might want to adjust that just a touch.
Or just vary it up.
Yeah, move it around, I guess. That would be a fair thing.
Like I still want to do a live somewhere where we're out in public where people can come see us if they want. Because everybody says they want us to do it out live and come see us. But what I don't want to do is do it out live and then nobody come.
Well, yeah, I mean, people coming out and seeing us.
Because, it's kind of like everybody says, oh, I'm going to share and like everything you do. Then it's like, okay, I posted this yesterday and I don't see it shared yet.
Not trying to make anybody feel guilty.
I am.
You do wonder, like on Facebook, when you have 15,000 people who follow you and then you get 3 shares, like, where the hell is everybody?
Yeah. So,
bunch of liars.
Yeah.
Jimmy, let's see here. Okay, let me get back over here. What the hell? Where have you all been?
Well, I've been floating a Chinese balloon up over Montana.
That's you?
Yes. That's what I do in my spare time. It's got Tony and Chris on one side of it, the logo, but the TV never catches it.
You could tell it's not us because we would shamelessly promote ourselves if we were involved in that in any way. Tom Chaney in the house.
Yes.
Hello, boys. Hello back, Tom. Good to see you, my man. Thanks again for hooking us up with Zach. That was fun.
Yes, and if you missed that show, go back and watch it. It was great to talk to him. It's a rare instance where a Texas artist is successful. You don't hear a lot about country artists from Texas.
Well, they don't like country music in Texas. I think it's a well-known fact.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, Jimmy, if you're really asking, I mean, we've been doing this. We're live on Facebook. We weren't live last Friday. We apologize for that. But we're live almost every Friday. We put up a couple of shows each week. We put little short videos up on our YouTube channel. It's all happening here on YouTube, and I see that that's where you are, so that's great.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, man. Let's see. Noel, I'd come to a live broadcast if I lived close by. You mean you wouldn't fly in from Minnesota? God, what kind of TK1 are you?
She'd be in the Virgin Islands. Who is she kidding?
Yeah, no kidding, man. Let's see. Okay, so wait a minute. TK, I missed something there. Oh, what is this, Marianne? You're moving back to Chattanooga? What's that about? I don't believe we approved that move.
Yeah, I haven't gone through the paperwork this week, so maybe it's in that.
I mean, it's cool, I guess. We're going to move. You should be able to move. So tonight, I mean, we don't, Cody's beside
There's
himself.
no notes. Let's just get it out there. There's no notes, okay?
He's beside himself. He's just a mess. He doesn't know what's happening. So, sorry. But
Are you?
No.
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
As we promoted this kind of an Ask Us Anything, we've done these before and had a lot of fun with them. It's a chance for you to ask any question you want. It can be a personal question about anybody on the show. It can be...
We'll be honest as we can be.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it can be a question about the business. It can be a question about life in general. I actually have a text question. Now, it's kind of cheating because she did this earlier, and it wasn't related to this show, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to answer a question. So we have a text question that we'll share in a little bit as well. So if you have questions, shoot them our way, and we'll see what happens. And this is a good chance because unless we can't answer it, we're not going to answer the question that somebody have asked about the show where we talked about the country star who's changing gender and all that. We're not going to talk about that. But other stuff. Here's an easy one to answer. Alex, what's up, guys? Hey, man, a lot. We're so busy. Not really. I mean, Cody's the only one with a steady job.
No, we're actually busier. It's weird because I talk to folks. We're busier now than we were with the other job.
It drives Katie insane because I spend more hours working now. I do more.
We're happy.
And we're happy. But she's like, this is great. I love that you're doing that. When are we going to see some money?
It's coming. Trust me. And then, you know what? I'll dive in on that a little bit. This digital thing, being older guys, when our agent was like, I really want you guys to try this digital thing. And he put us in touch with multiple people to talk to. And I say they're kids. They're all Cody's age or a little older even. And they're doing kind of what we're doing. And they're all making...
Except successfully.
Yes, you're very successful. But they're all making great money doing it. And I'm like, wait a minute, what now? And the guy's like, yeah, this is how much I made. I work 4 days a week. And I'm like, the job we were in is kind of like the modern newspaper is the way it was quoted to me this week. And it was like, oh, that's tough. But I was like, man, all these people in digital. And then the best example we talked about just before the show, one guy we were talking to said, when we were kids, to get work experience, you would go to Dairy Queen or Burger King or Walmart or something and get a job part-time to start making money. Now kids go, well, we'll go make some TikToks and some YouTube videos and make some money.
Boy.
And I thought about it, and Lily, my daughter, who's 13, you know, a couple times she'll get her gear. She's got a little PA system and everything and go to Market Square here in East Tennessee and perform for an hour or so and make good money. And I was thinking, why would she ever go get a part-time job anywhere when she knows I could do this X amount of hours a week and make great money and do something I love? So it's just kind of a new mindset in the world today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we've talked about it before. I just love, I'm getting some sleep for the first time in 30 years. I'm getting actual sleep.
It's a game changer to see my family and be able to stay up late.
Are you sleeping in or are you staying up late?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Really?
Our average bedtime is 1 a.m.
Wow.
Katie gets up 9:30, and I get up whenever I get up. I get up when I feel like it.
Yep. Nice.
Pretty great.
Nice.
So I usually wake up, or I get out of bed. I wake up when she wakes up, and I lay in bed because we have 3 dogs, and we have to keep them separate. I've told these stories before. So I lay in bed for about an hour with the 2 dogs that sleep with us, and then do some stuff, work, play on my phone, whatever, and then we trade dogs out, and I start my day.
Gotta
Play
get that
Wordle still?
in.
Well, I usually Wordle before I go to bed.
Okay.
Katie, although
Is that what they're calling
I'm feeling. I'm feeling very like held hostage
Yeah.
because I'm not completely off of it, but some days I don't think about it and I just don't care if I miss it. And Katie's like, you got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. It's a very blink twice if you're okay situation.
You should just put the same word in every time and just see how long before she's like, why are you even playing? Because you made me.
Well, the other day she was like, you got to play. And I beat her and she's like, and she's all upset. I said, you asked for it.
Yeah, exactly.
When you bring in the big brain, you got to expect to be beaten. That's just
Wow.
how it works. No, it doesn't work that way at all. Let's see. I saw some questions. TK1 Wendy, it's nice to see you too. Thank you. Jason, what's up, you sexy guys? Hope you're doing well.
We are guilty as charged there. Sexy.
Here's a question from Audrey. Do you guys cook?
Tony.
Give out recipes or anything like that? I love to cook.
Tony had Rach and I and Lily over for Thanksgiving one year. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I can definitely cook. I'm not like the kind of cook where I can just, okay, let me walk to the pantry and I can make something out of nothing. I don't have to have a recipe, but it has to be in my wheelhouse. I can't just create a dish out of nothing. I can follow a recipe, and I don't believe people who say I can't cook. If it's written out plain in black and white as a recipe, and you can't follow that and make it work, generally speaking, I think you're just lazy. I'm just saying.
You think I'm lazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't read a recipe and do
I've
it.
tried it.
And what happened?
Well, the SpaghettiOs came out fine.
I'm telling you, I mean, it's written down specifically how much stuff to put in and what to do. And now I will say there are exceptions to this when it's something where you have to, like making candy is difficult. My mom used to make homemade candy and she had like a candy thermometer because it has to be just the right temperature if you're making fudge.
Yeah.
So I get there are some recipes that are difficult. But a general recipe that lays out all the ingredients and how much to put in and how long to cook it, how could you not be able to do that?
It's not, well, probably because I can't read. That's the problem. It's like 1 teaspoon. Is that this one, this one, this one, this one, this spoon?
And I'll back you up on that.
It says it right on the thing.
No, it doesn't. That's the problem.
Then
It
you're
goes
buying-
TSP,
Exactly.
TBS. I don't understand.
You don't know the
I don't
abbreviations
understand.
for teaspoon and tablespoon?
No, I had to Google it.
Well, luckily for you, that happens. Back in the old days, if you didn't know, you were just...
What'd you have to do? Ask mom?
Everything was a stew,
A stew?
even candy.
Put it all in there.
Just mix it
there's
in.
Stew. Real quick side note, Stu. Katie has, I think she was her aunt. I don't know if you're on here, Katie. You can correct me if I'm wrong because I usually am.
And she usually does.
It all comes together. I think it was man, I can't remember. But she would make this crazy, like she'd make spaghetti, but you'd be eating it, and all of a sudden there'd be a crab claw. She would take like leftovers. She didn't want to waste food, so she would take little bits of leftovers she had and just like hide it in the spaghetti or whatever.
Nice.
So you'd never know what you're going to get.
What's this bottle cap doing in here? Well, I didn't want it to go to waste.
It was food, but you didn't know what kind of food it was going to be. And
That's terrifying.
I'm not going to lie. I'm glad she died before I had a chance to
Yeah.
eat it. Because I would not want to be the
That's
one who ends up with a
awful.
full of something terrible.
Why is this cheesecake crunchy? Oh, there's some Fritos in there.
I didn't want those. They're kind of stale. I thought they'd be soft enough you wouldn't notice. You could add those to the crust along with the graham crackers.
Oh.
Give it a little sweet and salty.
Yes,
That would
okay.
work.
Now you're backing it up. Now you're gonna go home and try it.
I'm saying that's not a bad idea. And you say you can't cook.
Instinct.
You're creating dishes as we speak. Okay, let's see. So I guess that answers that. Let me see. I saw another one. Alex, let me bring this up here. I'm going to say it again. For anybody who's watching this on Facebook, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that.
Please.
It just takes you a couple of minutes. Please make the effort and do that.
And if you haven't signed in to a Google, it's just a Gmail address is all you have to
You
have.
don't even have to have that. Noel told us you can have any email. You can do it without Gmail.
Okay, please just sign in and subscribe.
Yes, let me bring this up again. Sorry, we talked through the question. Oh, now it's not going to let me. Oh, there it is. Alex, I'm going to San Diego in May. What's one place I should eat?
Well, it's been a few years since I've been out there, but man, when I was
I heard McDonald's is pretty good.
Oh my
out in the day,
gosh.
Kansas City barbecue, I loved it.
It depends on what you want. I mean, if you're going to pick one place, if I'm going to San Diego and I'm picking one place to eat, I would absolutely eat Mexican food.
Yes, and the thing is we can't tell you where because the best places are in PB at 2 a.m. Like you'll see the line around the block.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to say one place. How long are you going to be there?
Oh, Rocky Burger.
Alex, if you want a burger, Rocky's is great. Is Hojon still open?
I don't know.
Because that was great. If you
I
want,
know Rocky Burger is because I just saw some friends were out there.
No, it's great. But I would not go to San Diego and not eat Mexican food or seafood.
Yeah.
And if you want seafood, a really simple, cheap place to have seafood is Point Loma Seafood. Also a really cool place because you drive out to the point where the lighthouse is, and here's how fresh it is. The restaurant/market, it's both, is on the docks of the bay. So they bring in the stuff and they literally walk 10 steps to bring it into the restaurant. It doesn't get any
Wow.
fresher. And you can, they're like just simple stuff like fish and chips, or they do sushi and other stuff. So if you want seafood, go to Point Loma Seafood, I would say. Mexican food, you can't miss. I mean,
You can't.
It's all fantastic. But if you really want to get like the real deal, then take a small drive from the city of San Diego down to either National City or Chula Vista and pick a place that has a lot of people eating there. It's busy, and you'll find some of the best tacos you've ever had. So, but any taco truck, any Albertos, any
Yes.
Robertos, I mean, they're all great. And get a California burrito.
Mm.
And again, if you're looking for just a burger, Rocky Burger.
Yeah, Rocky's great for sure. Let's see. All right, so what else we got here? Hope that Jimmy, damn, you're a younger generation. That's so long ago. I don't remember what we're talking about. There's Katie. I get up earlier than that during the week. I have a job. That's not true. It's like 9 a.m. Am I getting you in trouble by saying you get up at 9? I think that's perfectly reasonable because you do business around the world, but anyway, I get up later than you for sure. I don't know what you're trying to prove. Let's see. Yeah, they do have measurements on spoon. Yeah, right? Jimmy, my wife cooks awesome. That's awesome. Hodads. That's what I'm thinking of. I said Hojon. That's MASH. I am stupid. Thank you.
No, that's a great mash.
Hodad is definitely what I meant. Oh, here we go. Noel for Chris. Van Halen with Sammy or Van Halen with David Lee Roth?
Okay, well, there's two.
This is gonna be good.
I have a great answer for this, and people hate it because it's really a non-commitment. But David Lee Roth, especially if you read all the books, like the Ted Templeman book, was perfect for what they needed, and he was a showman. So he led a group. He was the ringleader of the circus act.
Rock and roll circus, yeah.
And then Hagar is an actual musician who could sing and really write some deep lyrics when he wanted to, like Pound Cake. But Sammy made him a band. So I view them as two different complete bands, but I love both of them. But if I'm picking one just to listen to, I usually go back to Roth and rock.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I saw them on the 1984 tour with Roth. I never saw him with Sammy. I didn't get a chance to see him.
He's great.
But I'm sure it was a great show. But that Roth show, it was my first ever concert. So imagine being a kid.
Van Halen was your first concert?
The last tour with Roth was my first rock concert. My first concert ever, and it was unbelievable.
And I'll tell you again, Sammy, when I say I'll listen to the Roth stuff, there's also days where I'll throw on Van Halen with Hagar and listen to that, or just Hagar solo stuff, because that guy can still rock. But one of my favorite moments was at their For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour, I think. And for my graduation gift, the radio station gave me a platinum album of Van Halen. And they gave it to me on the way to the show, and I took it with me. And I was on like the 20th row or whatever, and I held it up during the show. And Sammy stopped the show and said, "Wait a minute, what is that? Bring it up here." And they passed it up. And I wish social media had been around then where people could have videoed it. Yeah. But brought it on stage, and I remember Eddie walked over and was, like, "Oh, wow." And they all signed it on the stage and then sent it back and then brought me back and everything. So that was kind of cool.
Is that the one your cleaning lady erased?
Yes. Actually, it may be in the other room. I don't know if we can get to it tonight or something, but 2 of the autographs are gone.
You think it's in there?
I think so, but I can't get in there. It may be on the wall, or it may be on the floor down there.
There's a lot of shiny stuff in there.
Yeah, that's all Rach's albums hanging on the wall, but I don't know. Can you see it?
Yes. That's the OUA one too, though.
No, that was the platinum album they gave me, but it was the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour.
Yeah, it's up here. Do you want to take it off the wall?
Yeah, sure. If you bring it in here without killing yourself.
He looks like he needs help. You need help?
Nope, I got it.
This is where he breaks a leg.
He's
and
way up there.
Okay, yep, his leg's broken, but we'll get you as soon as the show's over.
Don't shatter the glass.
As soon as the show's over.
Worth that effort.
Okay.
I'm going to hold it. Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
So if you notice,
Hold on, the light is reflecting. So tilt.
yeah, right there. So if you notice right here, we have Alex Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen. And then up here in red was Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar. And I had told the maid multiple times, do not, under any circumstances, clean my office. Clean the whole house. Just stay out of my office. And I walk in, and my office is being cleaned, and she was Windexing that. And Windex takes Sharpie off. So, but a good thing is Sammy and Michael's still alive, and they're friends, and they tour around together and stuff. So at some point I may get them. I don't do autographs a lot, but that one I may redo. And then somewhere, well, it's out at the bar, I've got the Sammy Hagar 55 single signed. They all signed it on the stage that night too. So I have the whole band sign that.
Oh, that's funny, Sherry. My dad did the same thing with leftover food and spaghetti sauce. Going back to the, I guess that's a way to, you're hiding stuff, and if you're a kid, you probably can't tell it's in there. Now I'm nervous though, because Katie's actually making spaghetti for us tonight because we watched The Offer. So we're going to watch The Godfather tonight.
Yes.
She's going to make the Godfather recipe, like the sauce that they make. Don't be pulling any stuff on me. I know what's in that fridge.
He wants Fritos in it.
I'm going to check the fridge first to make sure the stuff that was in there when I left is still in the fridge. Now, she's never done that. She's an excellent cook. So good. Let's see. Tom Chaney, crab and spaghetti. Sounds great. But then again, I'm from Louisiana. Oh, that's right, Tom. You're kind of a food weirdo.
Yeah.
Down there in the Louisiana world. Let's see. Yeah, Steve, all Mexican food places in San Diego.
Yep.
Seriously.
100%.
Cannot go wrong. Rocky's Crown Pub. Dominique steps in there. Okay. Oh, you're getting some great. Alex, make sure you go through the comments because a lot of folks are recommending stuff from San Diego. Our San Diego friends. Steve, no seafood better in New England. Seafood is good in New England. I wouldn't say it's better. It's just different. I mean, it's different kinds of seafood cooked in a different way. But I'm telling you, I'll say this: the best fried calamari I ever had was in Rhode Island. It's like I don't know if they call it Rhode Island style or Providence style, but it's when they do it and they serve it with banana peppers. And it is so good. My brother lives up there, and man, it was fantastic. Let's see here. Stephen, let me get you up here. When you doing a country cruise?
We have actually talked to our lady that does that, Adele, and we will talk with her soon. But we've got so many other things we're juggling right now. It's just it's on the list. Yeah, but there's just a lot going on.
As you said earlier, it's crazy because we're busier now than we have been in a long time doing this. So it's harder to find that time, but it's on the list. Perfect. Exactly right. Let's see. Josh, hey guys, how you doing tonight? We're doing great, buddy. Hope you're doing well as well. Appreciate you being here, man. Let's see. Okay, Noel, regarding Van Halen, I totally agree. They each were perfect for the era they were with the band. I mean, oh, Jimmy, no way with Roth.
What?
Blasphemy. Jimmy.
He doesn't like Roth?
Well, hold on a second. David, and then up here it says David Lee Roth with all exclamation points, but Hagar was good, but not the man. And then down here, no way with Roth. Both were great. You're confusing the hell out of me, Jimmy. You're all over the place. I can't tell what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I love both of them. I got proof.
Who sang the 1984 album?
What's that?
Who sang
that
on
was
the
Roth.
84 album?
That was
Oh,
his
okay.
last album with him.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they came back and released an album after that, but that was the last of his first run. Then there was the Hagar years, and then Roth came back.
I like that album. So
And Dominique's hitting Alex up with so much good San Diego stuff. That's awesome. Let's see. What else we got here? Not hitting any links in this. Likes them both. Okay. Yeah, so, all right. Any other questions? Let me bring up this. Marianne, is Jimmy drinking? If you are, Jimmy, cheers, my friend. Here's a text question. We got TK1 Lori sent this our way. Let me make sure I've got it here. I think this is it. So she sent me this thing, and it was from, like, you can see it's an ad or something. And John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Double Fantasy, the year it was sold, and worth today $150,000.
Wow.
And her question was, is this right? And I had to do a quick look up on it, and yes, it actually is. That album, that particular album, I don't mean just the title of it, that actual album initially sold for $400,000 back in the day, sold again a few years ago for $150,000. But here's why. It is the last autograph John Lennon ever signed. It is the album he signed for Mark David Chapman.
Okay.
So he signed that album for him, and that's why it is worth so much money today.
That's not the one. Is that the one where they got the picture of him signing it for him?
Probably.
Yeah, there's a picture out there.
So it's his last known autograph. So that's why that album is worth so much. And
gotcha.
For anybody else, I get questions sporadically on the text line about records and, hey, is this? If you're looking at collecting, if you want to know if what you have in your collection is worth anything, there are several sites out there that can give you a good start. I recommend Discogs.
yes.
I turned him onto it.
Yep.
DISCOGS. And when you go on Discogs, you can search a record, and there's a lot of work that goes into this, because when you buy a record, they call it the dead wax. The piece of record at the end, like when your songs are over and it's just doing boom, boom.
Yeah.
In that dead wax are etchings, and you have to look really closely. I have to use a magnifying glass, and I use sunlight because a lamp reflects, but you can read it. But then you can go on Discogs and check it against their stuff and see which copy you have.
Oh.
Because a lot of times there might be 50 different pressings of the same album, and 49 of them might not be worth anything, but there's one pressing that for some reason it was mastered by somebody special, or they had something different about it, might be worth a lot. So
interesting.
I would, if you're a fledgling record person, go to Discogs
Or CDs or whatever.
Well, CDs aren't going to be worth anything unless they're signed by the
In
artist.
20 years, they might be.
Down the road, they could be. But generally speaking, a CD is disposable. I mean, it's crazy. Cassettes are making their comeback now. I'm like, why in the world are cassettes making a comeback? There's garbage.
Yeah, and that means pencil sales are going to go up.
Yes. If you know, you know. And Jimmy, going back to that question earlier, yes, he is drinking. Here's Emily. Cody didn't get the wear green memo. I'm not wearing green. Who's wearing green? Is your shirt green? Oh, I guess your shirt's kind of green.
Oh.
This is tan. It just looks different. Maybe our tint
I was
is
like,
off.
my shirt's red.
Yeah, our shirt's red. Well, I've got you on here, Emily. Stop talking about your new car. I don't
Yeah,
wanna hear
we're over it.
I'm over
Oh, yeah, she got one. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Just kidding. You're very lucky. You're going to love that Jeep, and here's what you're going to love about it. In about 5 years, it's going to be in the shop every 2 weeks. You probably answered her question already. Chris, who's on your shirt? It's heart to heart.
Heart to heart, yeah.
Just scooch up a little bit so you can see a little bit more. Can you? There you go. There you go.
Was that a TV show?
Now you're talking. Is that a TV show?
Man. And, I told Rach when we got married, she goes, what do you think married life's going to be like? And I said, I assume we'll drive around and solve a mystery once a week, and I'll wear a tuxedo a lot, and she could wear an evening gown, and I had hopes that you would become our Max. But now,
Dog? That sounds like a dog.
And now, that's Freeway.
Just their butler.
Oh, God.
Okay. Freeway is the dog.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good show for sure.
So it was a show. No one
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Ford,
Thank
not a
you.
Jeep. I thought it was a Jeep.
It was just your standard rich couple that just dabbled in murder. Remember in the opening segment, it's like their love life is murder. And that was it. Every week he would I was sitting there going, gosh, so many billionaires just falling into murder every week and having to solve it.
It's a crazy world that they run in.
Nobody will understand the 70s and 80s. We absolutely the police should be ashamed of themselves in that time. because all these rich people had to just dabble in part-time private investigator work to get stuff solved.
weren't getting the job done.
Couldn't. And then remember, there was that brief period of time, we've made a meme about it before, where a father, a doctor, and an author all had to solve crime because there was a detective shortage. It was Murder, She Wrote, Father Dowling's Mysteries, and Diagnosis Murder. We were a huge shortage.
We needed a bunch of old people.
Yes.
To get
We're
out
like,
there and solve
there's not enough cops and detectives. What do we got? What's that doctor doing in his spare time?
Wait, is Quincy busy? Then get the doctor.
And Quincy really is the most reasonable of all of them to be a doctor because what's he going to miss? Yeah. He operated on dead people. He's a coroner.
Yeah. His worst day, maybe somebody comes back to life.
Exactly.
You can't have a bad day when you're a coroner.
Yeah. Oh.
No idea what you're talking about.
No chance of. You know what a coroner is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the joke doesn't matter.
It's you don't have to. Yeah.
I don't
It's
have
fine.
time.
It's fine.
We're going to do a special episode like pop-up video where we explain everything to Cody. We'll have a blackboard over there drawing stuff.
What is the pop-up video? Is that a
Yes.
show too?
Oh, just
Emily, since you're on here, I saw that your bestie got engaged. How exciting! Are you feeling it? Are you hoping? Is the heat? Are you putting the heat on Cody? Because a lot of times, I mean, John Mulaney does a great bit about going to weddings of friends.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Of course, he's not married to that woman
That'll
anymore.
put the pressure on you.
Yeah, but when your friends are around, you're getting married.
If it makes you feel any better, Emily, he told us he's down to a choice of 3, and you're in the loop. So, good luck.
Stop!
The final cut.
You're in the final round, okay?
You should be happy you made it this far.
Exactly.
I don't know why
I
I'm
think
going
things are
along.
looking good.
We're going to keep doing these until Cody can't go home. So again, it's an Ask Us Anything. If you have questions about whatever, we're here for you. We'll answer whatever you got. But this isn't a question, but Katie has a request. She wants us to tell the blacked out tooth story.
Blacked out 2 story.
Cross Canadian Ragweed when we were with Grady.
I wasn't with that.
You weren't there?
No, I wasn't a part of that because y'all come walking in the room and I was like, what?
Oh, I thought
is
you were
going
there.
on? No, that was you and Casey Robertson
Yeah, okay.
and somebody else. I
could've
missed
sworn
that.
you were there.
Yeah, I've heard the story.
Okay, so there's a thing called CRS. It's Country Radio Seminar, and every year country radio stations around the world, really, they all converge on Nashville for like this 3 or 4 day thing. And they still do it, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. Now, back in the day, it was an exceptional amount of fun because all the record labels had money to blow, and so they would all buy suites. So they would, and then during that time, they would have new artists, and they say, hey, they would invite DJs up to the suites. Hey, we're gonna have a new artist performing. Come up.
That's where we met Chris Stapleton the first time. He was playing guitar for Leanne Womack,
Yeah.
and Leanne goes, "Hey, everybody, please stay in the room now that I'm through singing. I want you to hear my guitar player sing." 90% of the people left and said, "We don't see no pudgy guitar player play."
It's a crazy situation, and it shows you how jaded we are as people. You know, we miss out on a lot of stuff. But anyway, it'd be a lot of fun, and there are so many stories we could tell. Chris and I had a lot of friends in the industry. We still do, and so we'd go up, and it was an open bar. We actually would tend bar in a lot of these situations.
A couple of them, we ended up doing
We
that.
ended up tending bar before the night was over, but we would go because it's entertainment and free drinks. What's not to love? So very late one night, Leanne Womack is here. So it's the MCA Records Suite, and there's a few people around. And if you remember the band Cross Canadian Ragweed, I think he's a bass player. Grady was he a bass player?
No, he. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. One of the band members, sweetest guy in the world, just the nicest guy. He's there, and so there's the main part of a suite. You know how suites work. There's bedrooms off to the side, and then the main room. And he asked if we wanted to partake of a certain substance, and we said we would very much like to do that. And so Leanne and Casey, who at the time I think was still her day-to-day working with her, and Grady and I went off into this room, and so we did that. And so then out of nowhere, he pulls out a Sharpie and goes, "Hey, you guys want to black out a tooth?" And we're like, "No." I said, "No, I don't." Why would I want to do that? I said, he goes, no, man, it wipes right off. And I said, there is no way in hell that this thing, you're just trying to get me to do this so I look like a fool for the rest of CRS with a blacked out. No, geez, I swear, man. I said, you do it first and show me that it wipes off and I'll do it. And so he did it, and he waited a couple minutes and it did come right off. So I said, okay, great. So he did it, I did it. I don't think Leanne did it, but I think Casey did it.
Yes.
So now it's getting close to time. Everything should be shut down. And if I'm not mistaken, we lied about who we were to get them to reopen the suite that night. In fact, I think we used our friend Denise's name because they had shut it down. This is like 1 a.m. or so. They shut it down. We lied to get back into it. So we're in there, and somebody ended up calling security because it got a little noisy because people started.
I think that's about the time I got there because I remember security walking in right behind me and me going, uh-oh, what's going on?
Where were you?
I was downstairs probably trying to
'cause
find
we would
food or
bounce
something.
back and forth from food to the downstairs bar to the upstairs place. It's a constant circle of drinking.
Got it.
So anyways, so they get there and they're kicking us out. And as we're leaving, I'm not even thinking about anything. And this woman is there and she's very upset. And as we come back, and Casey's behind me, and I shook her and I said, I'm so sorry this happened. And I start apologizing, and Casey starts cackling. She's like, oh my God. I said, what is your problem? She goes, you're trying to be all serious and professional. Your tooth's blacked out, man. You look like an idiot. I'd forgotten that my tooth was blacked out. Anyway, that's the blacked out tooth story. Now, can I show the picture of us, Katie? I'll have to wait till she says yes. One night we were having beverages at our house, and Lexi, our oldest, was upstairs, and we got drunk and we blacked out our tooth and sent her a picture. And it's the picture I've wanted to use for our engagement announcement in the trades. It's a picture I wanted to use it for everything. And she's like, oh, Emily has an answer. Yep, she said, hope you get one soon. Well, we all do. We're pulling for you, Emily. I don't know. I mean, this guy.
Again,
I'm a little slow.
just work a little harder. You're in the top 3.
You gotta show what you got. What's he gonna get for his money? That sounds bad. I shouldn't have said it like that.
You guys are not invited.
That does not surprise me at all. I would not expect to be, because if I am invited, I'm going to tell you I'm going to ruin it.
Well,
so don't invite me.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
I'm just going to wait to write. You're doing a vow or something. And when you start yelling, "Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito?"
We sat out there chanting. Okay, Katie said I can show it. Okay, hang on a second.
Well, you look that up.
Yeah, tell whatever you're gonna do.
I'm trying to read the questions, but I can't see them over here. So,
And there's no notes. So,
oh
I mean,
boy, you were just so hung up for a guy that complains about the notes nonstop. The night we don't have notes, now you're complaining there's no notes.
There's no notes.
So that's just what you do is complain, is what you're saying.
Kelly in the house. What's up, girl? Okay, I'm looking. I got to go back to when we were still in Nashville.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, yes. We're going to be doing some more at some point here soon as Tony continues to learn this system we've got set up here. We'll do Chris's College of Country Knowledge will come back. I still want to do That's All I Need to Know About You on a regular basis, because I enjoy that.
I use that every day of my life. Honestly.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Since we have video now, I really would like to go out and do some of these games like on the street, like find people on the street to play. But we have to have somebody to operate the camera. He's got a real job now, so we need another set of hands that will work for free and allow us to berate them. Oh, this isn't the picture of Katie, but I don't know if you can see that or not. That's a copy of Playboy with Burt Reynolds on the cover that Katie bought me for, I don't know.
Burt Reynolds. How about that guy on The Last of Us that looks just like Burt
Pedro,
Reynolds?
yeah.
I mean, he looks just like him.
You're looking a little too long there. You better watch it. Emily's going to have something to say.
No, Burt Reynolds. I mean, that's the only time I guess. Wow. I didn't know he's on
I'm sorry
Playboy.
this is taking so long.
That's what Burt Reynolds in over like 200 movies.
Well,
Legendary
he's
actor.
The
Thought,
the Bandit. I know that
I didn't
much.
know he was on.
Right? He was Smokey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not.
He was
Smokey.
not Smokey,
The
he was
cops,
Bandit.
Man. Do you not know anything about CV
No, he
lingo?
wasn't the cop.
He was Bandit.
Yeah, he was the smoke. Oh, who's
Smokey
Smokey?
is a smoke.
He's the truck driver?
No, that's
Who's Smokey?
Smokey is the police officer. That's a Smokey. We got a couple of Smokies on our tail.
Oh. Wow.
Crazy little thing. Listen to dialogue of a movie.
See, Cody will never understand the excitement, because I remember when my dad bought our first CB. Like he bought more. That's the only CB we ever had. But he bought a CB because we took road trips and we went places. And I was a kid. And I get on that CB and Breaker 19.
We had a CB for about a month, and it got stolen out of our car in Birmingham, Alabama. But it was a CB that looked like a phone receiver.
Oh.
It was so weird. You just pick it up and be like, oh, yeah, hey.
And it would just allow you to talk to other people on the road?
Yes.
Randomly? Through
Yes.
their radio?
Just like truckers use today.
I mean, honest to God, Cody, there was a time when, like the movie Smokey and the Bandit, when truckers, that's what they would communicate. Hey, we got Smokies up here. They would let people know. It was before radar detectors.
Yeah.
So they would tell each other when they saw speed traps and stuff.
Huh.
Wow. If Smokey and the Bandit was this confusing for you, there's no way we're getting into Sharky's machine tonight.
Is that a movie? Or
I said we're not getting into it.
We're not taking any more questions at this time. Here we go.
City Heat will be on the list, too, to get to.
I'm going to have to see. I got to move up closer to the camera. Let me know.
That is gold.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
You are... Okay.
Tilt it down.
Down. Perfect.
There you go.
Okay,
It
hold
needs
it,
to zoom
hold it.
in, or it needs to focus.
Yeah, it's not going to focus, but it's...
All right, well, I can hold it from here. You have to look close. But there we are on the sofa. With blacked out teeth. It's not a great picture.
We should just do one night with blacked out teeth and not tell anybody and just do it and see how many people in the comments are like, "Hey, do y'all know your?"
What happened here too? Nothing. That was taken at 1:46 in the morning. That's why it's a little blurry. I was a little blurry. Anyway, all right. Let's see here. I missed some stuff. Jackie Gleason was Smokey. Yes, he was.
That's right.
Jackie Gleason.
Buford
That's
T.
the actor?
Justice.
That's the actor.
Katie wanted me to hit you.
The cop was
Yes,
the Gleason?
Buford T. Justice was Jackie Gleason.
Gleason guy. Yeah.
Jimmy says, Cody, you're squinting.
Cause like they're so tiny. The little like I mean
Oh, see?
I'm furthest away.
Oh, I can read it better when I'm further away. The farther away.
What?
I get it. It gets
Once you
better.
get old, you need like a selfie stick to read stuff. You read your phone so you can
Right? Let's see. Please help him, OMG. I know, right? Seriously. Yeah. Well, more recently, did you see Boogie Nights?
No, I don't even know what that is.
They filmed his last movie in Knoxville.
Who?
Burt Reynolds.
What the hell have we been talking about for the last 5 minutes?
Okay.
Who? Son of a bitch. Kelly, poor Cody. My dad was a trucker when I was a kid, and he had a CB. It was fun playing with it, right?
Remember, I mean, everybody wanted in on the trucker craze. I mean, that's when Smokey the Bandit came out. Then you had BJ and the Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Convoy.
Yes, Convoy, the song.
I know
I
that
mean,
one.
40-Hour Week, Alabama.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of some other ones that came out. Teddy Bear.
That was way older than
Yeah,
that
but
before.
Teddy Bear.
You want to cry?
I'm gonna listen to some Alabama tonight. That's a great song.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You still collecting CDs?
Yes.
What was your last acquisition?
Flume.
What is that?
It's a band. It's a
What's the name of it, man?
Flume.
It's the thing you ride at Dollywood?
Yeah, I know. I know. What I've never heard of them. Is it
It's like electronic music kind of
okay?
thing.
So newer.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'll have to check them out. Is it good?
Yeah, I like it.
If you like
And Blink 182, the California album.
okay.
I
Got
put that
that.
on vinyl.
Love the whole album. You can't say that about a lot of albums. That one, just not a song I don't like.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I love them. I would say that at least 4 of their albums I consider that they're front to back classics.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
My only connection to them is one of those guys had his tonsils taken out, and the guy that fixed my nose, one of my nose surgeries, and took my tonsils out, did his.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
we're-
I lived.
I didn't get your autograph.
I lived 20 minutes.
Exactly.
I lived 20 minutes from them when they
Yeah.
lived in Poway, California. I lived in Ramona, so we lived right down the road from each other. I would go to Poway to go see movies. We went and saw Austin Powers in Poway,
yes.
so they lived like 10 minutes from where we saw that movie.
If you want to know a little bit about me,
I think you do.
when I saw Austin Powers, and what's funny is Austin Powers wasn't cool when it came out. It was getting
And not like it is now.
well, it was the first one. It was getting terrible reviews. I went opening night. People were getting up, heckling the movie screen, and walking out. And there wasn't a lot of people there to begin with. And I found it hilarious. And I had friends from Alabama calling and saying, if you wrote a movie, I think that you and Tony would write this movie. And I was crying, laughing in the movie. So the next day I called and bullied Tony into going, and I went up and got him, and we went to the movie in Poway, and both thought it was just hysterical.
I still every once in a while we'll just put it on, just out of the blue.
It only made the first one. Now the second one has funny parts,
Yeah.
and the third one's just ugh. But the first one, as a story, everything about it, the lines, the visual humor is perfect.
Did you ever see this movie, Cody?
Bits and parts. It's like a James Bond, right? Or like
Yes.
a parody.
I'm guessing you didn't like it.
I don't remember it a whole lot, so probably not. I just remember there's like a naked cat and some guy that says $1 million.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's the new description I want to see put up on Netflix or wherever it streams.
Oh my gosh, that should be a game.
Austin Powers. It's a naked cat and a guy who says $1 million. That's the description. That should be a new game. You're right. Where Cody comes up with the descriptions. It's like the Star Wars.
Oh, and there's a British guy that goes, "Yeah, baby."
Yeah. That's it. We've got it. This is the new game. We'll find movies that Cody's seen and get him to do the new description. A naked cat, some guy that says $1 million, and a British guy goes, "Yeah, baby." That's your description.
Well,
Will
he
you
sold
watch-
me.
I was going to say, will you watch this movie based on that description? That's amazing. Oh
I'm
my
always
God! I love
amazed.
it. That's actually pretty great. I think we have something.
Yeah,
here.
I've got a gift. What can I say?
You didn't need notes. See, look at you creating.
That's true.
Very nice. Cinnamon rolls at Ramona Cafe. I don't think Dominique has done anything on this entire thing since Alex mentioned, give me some recommendations. All that she's done this entire time is give recommendations. He is going to be unable to pack in all that excitement in the 3 days. You were being so sweet to him, Dominique. Thank you. Hi, Janet. How are you? No more questions? Really? You have an
Good.
opportunity for us to be honest and answer any question you want about
We'll never be honest again.
artists, about ourselves, about anything, and nothing? I'm shocked. Guess the movie from what Cody says. That's a good idea, Wendy. I love that. That's not bad. Say, can you identify this movie based on
I
the
can tell
terrible
you
description he gives?
I was going to say, we will be so angry by the end of it because it will be like, what do you mean the movie was, Field of Dreams? And you kept saying as a description,
They got a cornfield.
The airplane.
The-
And we're like, what? There was an airplane. There was that scene where an airplane went over the guy when he was walking in the street. And we're like, what?
Off the air, there's been so many times when I've been trying to describe a movie to you, and you're like, "That's what you got out of it."
Yes.
Seriously.
So
What was the Star Wars one? There was something about
The guy,
No, there was one of them, though, the whole story of the movie he did not get. It was
Yeah.
like his description of the movie was something that was a side.
Just total random. Is that the one
Scene.
with the car, or like it was something?
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous.
It was, is that the one with the car? And we're like, well no, it's The Fugitive.
Yeah.
It's just.
Kelly says the most accurate description of Austin Powers. I mean, you're not wrong. That's the beauty of it. He's not wrong. But imagine like flipping through trying to find something to watch on Netflix, and that's the description you saw.
It's awful.
I love it. Thank you, Noelle, for coming through. Nobody has questions,
Okay, perfect.
but she's got one for us.
Oh,
Top 3 favorite mixed drinks. Chris, go.
straight, just whiskey straight, old fashioned, and on occasion, a good margarita.
Okay. Cody?
old fashioned, pina colada, and then Diet Coke and whiskey.
Pina colada.
Yeah, I like a little
Wow.
pina.
How precious.
Emily makes the best pina coladas I've ever had, so they're really good.
That's precious.
It is.
You better hope it was Emily that made that,
She's
not
a
the
keeper.
other two.
What? There's no
Nothing.
other two.
Pina coladas are for when you're like 14.
But they were good, okay?
yeah,
they were
actually-
sweet. We were on the beach. It was awesome.
See, that's it. When you're on the beach, all bets are off. You can drink
Yeah.
anything you want. I have
Yeah.
a picture. Our buddy Eric, who we talk about, the firefighter. He listened to us. Man's man, firefighter, big guy. I found a picture I came across the other day on one of our cruises where he and I, late night, are standing at the bar drinking a daiquiri out of the same glass with 2 straws. And I was like, yes, because we had talked about it. All bets are off on a cruise or on the beach. There's no such thing as a non-manly drink. You can drink
Yeah.
anything you want. So
Because they
good
have
for
those
you.
colored drinks. The drink of the day is like blue or red. or
And they're delicious. They're all just sugar bombs, which is why you
Yeah.
end up so hungover. But for me, I would say, if we're talking mixed drinks, I'm with you. I mean, I really like just bourbon on the rocks. But Hendrick's Martini, does that count as a mixed drink?
Yeah, sure.
Hendrick's Martini with Point Reyes blue cheese olives. And that's specific, but that's the
cheese
only way I'll
olives?
drink it. Oh, yes.
Huh.
So good. Old fashioned, I'm with you. I love a good old fashioned. And, I mean,
You like whiskey sours a lot, don't you?
whiskeys. Yes, thank you. That's the other one.
Yeah.
But a homemade one. No mix. Don't
oh
use.
yeah, he's got
don't
such
use
a
sour
recipe.
Mix.
Yeah.
And we still got to get you guys to the house so I can make you a real one.
If you do some perusing through the YouTube channel, Tony's Toddies, down through there.
Yeah. I mean, now in fairness, those weren't my recipes, but some of them turned out really nice.
Yeah.
Great for the holidays for sure. Ever drink Angel's Envy bourbon? I have tried it. Yes, it's very tasty.
Yes.
Katie and I went on this like personal little bourbon tasting tour right before we left Nashville. We would go over to Frugal McDougal's,
Yes.
this gigantic liquor store.
It's right
and-
next to my apartment down
Yeah, it
there.
was right by the Gulch. And we would just each week we would get different kinds of bourbons and try them. So we went through a bunch that we loved. For me, and with thanks to one of our best friends Shane, I would say Blanton's is my favorite bourbon. He introduced me to that. It's so good. She likes Elmer T. Lee, which is
Wow.
harder to find.
Wow.
What?
That's like up there, isn't it?
Yeah, but
that's like
honestly though, I don't think it's that good.
really.
I don't think it's worth the money. We have a bottle at home. We actually have, I think, 2, one unopened, one open. But she loves.
We're more
that.
of an Elmer Fudd guy.
Yeah, there
Elmer
we
T.
go.
Fudd. that's my bourbon.
Fudd. I thought okay.
Bib and Tucker is really good. Anyway,
Elmer. He's the guy, the Wabbit. He's the Wabbit guy.
he is the Wabbit guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Blake looks. I'm the only Yardley tonight. Yeah, what's up? Is your dad still out of town? Is he still over in West Memphis, causing trouble? Or not West Memphis, West Tennessee in Memphis. Let's see, Stephen. We got a place here in Virginia that has a good old fashioned. Here's the thing about old fashions, and I love them, but if they're made wrong, they can be sickeningly sweet.
Yes.
And they have a high sugar content. Now, I'll tell you, there are a couple of really good. Like if you want to do it simple, you can do it from scratch, but that's a pain. So I buy the pre-mixed stuff, and there's 2 that I love. One, we get at Williams Sonoma. The Williams Sonoma old fashioned mix is fantastic, and it's super simple. You throw ounce of that in the glass and your bourbon, stir it up, throw in an orange slice, and you're done.
Wow.
And there's another one, and I'll have to look up. I can't remember the name of it. But we get it at Total Wine & More. It's a small bottle with red writing on it, and that's also really good.
Okay.
If you're lazy, and I generally am, except with whiskey sours. Let's see, Jack, Diet Coke, and lime. Yeah, we got off the Jack Daniels train. Chris and I used to drink Jack Daniels we were devoted.
Yeah, and then Joe Namath got in trouble.
Well, it was actually before Joe Namath. We were already a little on the fence because they changed their proof and they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, they didn't.
And they kept charging the same price.
They didn't make a announcement or anything, but they went from like 90 proof to 80 proof.
Yeah, and they kept charging the same price, and that really pissed us off.
I want honesty.
Yeah. One thing I need from my bourbon people or my whiskey people, you better not lie to me. And then, when Joe Namath, we found out he was drinking vodka, and we said, well, if it's good enough for Broadway Joe, so we went on a big vodka kick for a while.
Broadway Joe.
I think we're bourbon guys at heart. Let's see, bourbon tasting. Yeah, please. Pappy has a good old fashioned. I'll bet they do. I have never had Pappy Van Winkle, like the high end stuff, but when Katie and I got engaged, or I'm sorry, the day we got married.
Okay.
Unexpectedly, we went over to this little speakeasy here in Knoxville, and I ordered the low end. So they have like 3 tiers of Pappy that you can buy, and the low end shot was $100.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try it. I got to try it, and I will say it is worth every penny.
Okay.
So I can't even imagine how good the top end is, because this stuff was the best bourbon I've ever tasted.
Wow.
It's
okay.
unbelievably good. So Jonathan came to party. My preference for a mixed drink is a Long Island. If you're drinking Long Island iced tea, that's your preference.
You mean business?
You are ready. We're going to see you on Broadway Uncensored page one day, because that's what happens.
Broadway
when you drink.
Uncensored.
All right, I think we probably got to wrap.
Yeah.
48 minutes. Good Lord. Sorry, we've been yammering. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you watching. Oh, wait a minute, Marianne, scroll up and read my question. Hold on. Thank you for telling me that. I would have missed it. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is a good one. This is juicy. Marianne, who was your least favorite interview in your radio career? I feel like you may have said something about this before, but I don't remember.
Dom Irrera comes to my mind. He's a comedian.
Dom Irrera.
Irrera.
Yeah. He's the guy, he was on Seinfeld.
Yes.
He was the prop comic on Seinfeld.
Yeah. He's been in a million little things here and there.
The thing about him, and comics, I love comedians, and here's the problem with comedians. Most of them don't want to do radio interviews.
I mean, there's reels on TikTok of them talking about how, first of all, how douchey DJs are. And that's one of our big deals here, because like they really wanted us to be those guys, the radio guys. And the comedians hate it.
Yeah, well, comedians, they don't want to get up early, number one, so they don't want to be on a morning show. So if they do agree to go on, they probably do exactly what we do. They say yes to it, and then when the moment comes, they immediately regret that they said yes to doing it. And I get it, but my thing is, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
But then you got people like Mark Maron, who is a stand-up comedian, and I think he's great. He's not for everybody, but he used to have his own show. Now he's got a podcast now, but he enjoyed it. He said, I like getting in there, mixing it up with him if they let me in on what we were doing. But again, that comes back to radio guys being jerks and not giving them any information.
Radio guy is going to show you I'm funnier than you, the comedian.
Yeah, so we used to have comedians on the radio show occasionally, and we would say, hey, how do you want us to do this? You tell us how you want to do it. If you want to set us up for jokes, we'll give you your setup lines, and you can just tell some jokes, and we'll promote the show. Or if you just want to have a conversation, we can do that too.
Yeah.
So we tried to give them the opportunity to make it the way they wanted to do it, which made it a little better. But yeah, Dom Irrera was completely uninterested, didn't want to be there, was on the side of being an a-hole.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad, because at one point I was like, dude, I'm sorry.
It was pretty weird. And he was in studio with us. He came in studio and was that way to our face, which you expect him to be jerks on the phone, because it's easy to be a jerk to somebody on the phone.
But that same week, I think Dana Carvey came in and was so nice, and he even said, hey guys, I'm sorry I came later in the show, but I'm on SNL now. I think I've got to the point where I can sleep in a little bit.
I know him.
Yeah, yes. And he was so cool. And then he's telling us during the interview about him and Chris Farley are filming a movie about brake pads, and we're like, okay.
Oh, I get the reference.
but I'm sitting there going, okay, brake pad salesman. I'm like, yeah, it sounds funny. Sounds like that's going to be a home run.
That's before they released it and everything. He was telling
They
you
were
about?
filming it, yeah.
Wow.
Well, the first thing, I love.
And that's the pitch he gave you?
Yeah.
I know. It was so great to get our picture with him, though, because everybody was like, oh my God, he's so small.
Yeah, he was tiny.
He is a little guy.
Tiny.
I'm trying to think, I'm sure you probably want to know some country people that weren't great. I wouldn't rank any country star in a least favorite interview, because they've all been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, even the ones that have tough days, we know that they can be better.
I will speak to your guys' whatever you want to say, but the ones that have had bad days, I've dealt with too, and you've turned them around. So I've noticed that whenever they talk to these guys, they are awesome. They light up.
That's
So,
true.
That's
What do you want?
That's sweet to say.
Nothing. I'm just saying that they've got like some sort of superpower. So
Well, I think the superpower is
they'll be on the phone with me and like, yeah,
Not being
okay,
douchey.
I'm ready,
well,
and then they'll
we're
get with you
nice,
guys.
We're
and they're
nice. We're not
good to go.
trying to be overly fanny, like, ooh, I did it. We just treat them like real people and have a
Yeah.
conversation, which I think is refreshing.
It
probably.
resonates.
I'll tell you a good example, and that from Nashville on this. And Blake Shelton texted us one day and said, "Hey, I got to go to the airport like in an hour, but I'm right down the street. You want me to come in for a few minutes, but I've got to leave by a certain time." And we're like, "Sure." And then his record people found out and texted us and said, "Can he do the morning show across the hall from you too, so that we don't hear about it?" And then because they always complain, you guys have these guests come in, and we're like, "Yeah, sure, we can do that." And so he was going to come in with us for 15 or 20 minutes and then go across the hall for 15 or 20 minutes. And when he came in with us, we did our interview, we did photos, we got the liners, where they say, "Hey, it's Blake Shelton, you're listening to Tony and Chris." Did all that stuff and actually did a St. Jude interview to run during a radiothon or something like that. And then got him out the door in 14 minutes, like with a couple minutes to spare. And he went across the hall, and then he texted us later, a little bit irritated because they never did an interview with him at the other show. They spent the whole time showing him pictures of their boat going, "We should just hang out. We should go fishing sometime. We should be buddies."
Yeah. So to going back to trying to answer the question, least favorite interview, I think any of the bad interviews we had, if we came off the phone going, "God, that was rough," it was not because they weren't nice or they weren't okay. It was usually a technical thing. Like I was excited to talk to that Simon Baker, the mentalist, and the LA Confidential, and I give it a year, all these things. But he was in Australia when we did the interview, and the delay was so bad that the interview was unusable.
Lou Ferrigno was tough because he's deaf,
he's
and
deaf.
he was on the phone.
Yeah, that was tough too. So we've had some tough, and then we cold called some back in the day when we first got into radio in a major market. Our producer had this 2-page list of celebrity home phone numbers, so we just started going through it and calling them at home, cold calling them. And some of those guys, they hang up on you and they treat you
Lee
bad.
Majors hung up on
But
us.
you expect that because you're bothering them at home without permission. And then, you get Leslie Nielsen.
Who was, he was like in character from Airplane when he answered the phone. You instantly knew it was him. And we're like, "Sir, if you hang up, we understand. We're 2 radio DJs. We are not going to harass you. We'll throw this number away if you want, but we would love to have the opportunity to talk to you." And he was like, "Sure, let's do it right now."
Well, he gave us the scoop on Dracula Dead and Loving It.
He goes, "I'm on my way to lunch to sign a deal with Mel Brooks."
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you get those things too. A couple other quick things. Janet, y'all just make my Fridays. What about a shot of Jaeger? Shot of Jaeger, no. No. Not a fan of Jägermeister. We don't, here's the
But
thing.
it's real gold. That's Goldschlager.
We don't usually do shots, period, because we're marathon runners, not sprinters. Sprinters end up on the floor in a few hours, and they're the ones you see on viral videos being horrible. Marathon runners, we're at the end of the night just over there sipping our drinks going, that's pretty embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
So no Jaeger. Never. No. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. Sherry, glad I caught y'all tonight. Have a great weekend. You too. Noel, okay, so kind of a follow-up here. We were going to stop, but I'm sorry. Who was the most surprising good interview? Like you may have had low expectations, but it turned out they were really cool or it was really fun unexpectedly. I can tell you who comes to my mind.
Who?
And I don't even know his real name. The dude who played Draco Malfoy's dad. And he was the bad guy in The Patriot.
Oh, yeah.
We interviewed him on our syndicated show. And when we got him, we had him booked. And it was like, okay, well, this guy's a big actor. He's a big star. He's been in these movies and stuff. He's probably going to be standoffish. He's British. All the things that would tell you it wouldn't be good. And he was the kindest, most generous, fun interview. He was fantastic.
I'll tell you who. I was going to say Enrico, Colin, whatever.
Colin, the guy from
Just Shoot Me and Galaxy Quest. He was always great and would come in.
He came in studio and then said, "I want to come back and see you guys again."
Yeah,
He
because
visited
because they would film Veronica Mars down the street, and he was on there, and so he would come in. He goes, "I always listen to you in the makeup chair," but I would have to say Dick Van Patten. Because when we interviewed him, we were excited, but he was so funny, so cool. And I think he was one of those, we had his home number and called him, and he did it. And we struck up a friendship to the point of we were getting our PR pictures, which we'll find it and throw it. It's on our social media, on our Instagram page or something if you look for it. Black and white.
Yeah.
But we called him and said, "Hey, we're doing this crazy thing. We think it'd be really funny if in our promo pictures it's Tony and Chris, and then it was Kason in the morning in the back, and it was going to be our traffic guy, our news lady, our producer, and we thought
Hollywood
it'd be
reporter.
Yeah, and we thought it would be really funny if you were in the pictures, and we never made any reason why. It was just, Chris Turner, Dick Van Patten, Cal Walker.
I know you don't know who this is.
Yeah, and he was like, I think that's funny, and he drove down and did it. Came in with a picture with us and everything, and everywhere we went from then on out, when we had signed the pictures, everybody would be like, "Is that Dick Van Patten?" And we'd be like, "Yeah."
I would say another one that's surprising, and it wasn't a scheduled thing, but another home number that we called, Larry Linville, who played Frank Burns on MASH. You know MASH, right? The show.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Frank.
watch an old episode?
Yeah.
So Frank,
I know there's like a couple
Frank Burns.
doctors and there's like a
Okay, never mind.
commander guy.
Let's hear the description. Say
There's
it
like
again.
a really tall commander guy. There's some guy that's a radar or radio, they call him.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's, and there's a girl, I think, or a guy that pretends to be a girl. He wears like dresses and stuff. And then he.
This is it.
Maybe,
This is the
I
game
don't
we're
know.
going to start playing. You got it. Anyway,
We
Frank
got the needle drop challenge. We just need to get 30-second videos of him
Yes.
describing shows and let people, just like needle drop challenge. How many seconds till you figured out what he's talking about?
So Frank was the bad guy in the show. So he had, he had a reputation as being this, not cool guy, but he was so sweet. He said, "Call me anytime, guys," and we would call him out of the blue, and he would give us like fun facts behind the scenes about MASH and stuff. And he was on our show many times.
Yeah.
So a lot of those. Happy to hear. Well, now, Marianne, don't get me wrong. Plenty of country artists were difficult.
Yeah.
They just weren't our least favorite.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I mean, the bit we do when you hear us do interviews and we do 60 seconds, and this is before everybody else was doing rapid fire questions. I mean, at one time, nobody was doing that. And we would get 5 minutes at the Country Music Awards with each artist. And Alan Jackson, who didn't do a lot of interviews at the time, was a tough interview. I mean, anything you asked him would be, yeah, no.
Not a lot of stories being told there.
Uh-huh.
Man of many words.
Yeah, and it's brutal. And so we came up with the idea of, let's make a game and put a timer under it and do as many questions in 60 seconds as we can. And that way, if he answers yeah or no, at least it's
part of the bit.
It's part of the bit.
Yeah.
And then he started loosening it up. And then toward the end there, he got great. Like when we do interviews with him, he's, he'd cut up with us a little.
Just real quick before we say goodbye, TK1 Kelly is the winner tonight. $20 super chat.
Oh,
donation.
nice.
Kelly, thank you so much. Just as a reminder, if you're on YouTube, that option is there, super chat, super thanks. There are ways to show your love with money, and hey, I'm sorry, that matters right now. 'Cause we're trying to upgrade equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, what we get off super chat is not going to pay any kind of salary, but it helps us upgrade our equipment and get new stuff that we need for the show. So, Kelly, you rock. Thank you so much for doing that. We really appreciate it. Let's see, awesome Drake interview. Jimmy, I can't keep up with you, man. I don't know what he's talking about. Let's see. Jamie Forrest, Klinger, yes. Klinger, good Lord.
Yes, I get it.
We're going to wrap up here.
Yes.
With everybody just not understanding what the hell you're talking about.
But
All
we'll be
right.
back. And
That's-
thank you. Share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share, and encourage your friends to subscribe.
We love you guys. If you are, again, I'll remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook and you have not subscribed on YouTube, please take a couple of minutes and do that. More subscribers means it helps us get where we want to be to make this viable as a career situation.
Yes.
And we're well on our way. So we love you. We thank you. Have a fantastic weekend. New show will drop Sunday. If you check out Sunday's show, we are really excited. If you saw Dierks Bentley in the last couple of years, this is the DJ that gets the crowd pumped before the show, in between sets and stuff. And he's a dear friend of mine. He is so fun, so cool.
Absolutely. And if you didn't see the show that just dropped, a lot of Baywatch talk. Pam Anderson makes an appearance.
You can see
That's all I'm going to say.
A picture of Chris as a child standing next to Pam Anderson. And a great story about our kind of appearance, I guess, on Baywatch.
Yes, on the biggest show on earth, we were stars.
All right. Love you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon. Another live next week. New shows dropping. More needle drops. I didn't drop any this week because we had some other shorts, but I will get some needle drops up
Yes.
in the next few days. So appreciate you guys. We will see you soon.